I am the white moonlight of the full cultivation immortal world. After coming back from the dead, I saw a barrage. Damn, the progress of Meibao's strategy is 99%. Why did Bai Yueguang come back to life at this time? Anla, the female partner, has been dead for so many years, and the people in the sect have long forgotten her, and now Meibao is the only group pet. The former licking dog now ignores her, and wholeheartedly guards the male virtue for our sister. The female supporting character must be crazy with jealousy. What about the return of the white moonlight? It's not just that you can only be slapped in the face by a stand-in. This is the contrast. 1. Female match, white moonlight. Me? I looked away and stopped looking at the barrage nonsense. Instead, he stared intently at the thin coffin lid in front of him. The material is cold and shiny like jade. It seems to be made of thousands of years of ice, which can keep the body incorruptible forever. Such a rare treasure in the world. It became the best place to collect my body. And now the embarrassing thing is, I have just been resurrected, and it seems that I have lost all my mana. Even if you try your best, you can't push the coffin lid open. 6. Rat, I feel like it's about to fall to the ground. It was pushed for another long time. Still not moving. If you don't make a decision, it's a big mess. I closed my eyes peacefully. Decided to die a little longer. 2. When he was halfway dead. Outside the cave, there was a burst of laughter like a silver bell. Come on, the famous scene of Meibao confessing to the senior brother. Soon the progress of the raid will be 100%. The female partner is struggling half dead here, and the senior brother and sister treasure are sweet. What a big drama of whipping corpses on the grave. Ouch, look at the face of the female partner, you are directly dumbfounded, ha ha ha. Well, it's a little dumbfounded. I stared blankly at the coffin lid. Senior brother. Who is it? When I was still alive, it was the senior sister of the sect who came. There are only junior brothers, no senior brothers. If you rank by seniority, is that kid Xianchen behind me? Or Xuanwu? Never mind. Don't bother to care. Mouse, I'm going to prepare for the 321 resurrection. A delicate and timid female voice sounded in the cave. Senior brother, in fact, I asked you out today, is... Bang. I have something to tell you. Bang. Actually, I've always been in my heart. Bang. Xianchen finally couldn't help it and shouted. What kind of demon is it? Dare to jump on my senior sister's grave? He held the natal spirit sword, and walked towards the coffin menacingly. What I saw was me with an expressionless face, and kicking the coffin rhythmically. Xianchen's legs suddenly softened. Master, senior sister. He sneered, are you not dead? After meeting my half-dead eyes, he shook his head hurriedly. No, I mean. How did you come back to life in person? He. I used my last bit of strength. Weak and helpless, he gave 2 middle fingers. This stupid X. If I beep again, I'm going to be suffocated. 3. Was rescued by Xianchen. Lean against the cave wall and breathe slowly. No way. This body is too broken. It is impossible to keep spiritual power in the Dantian at all. On the side, Meibao in the barrage was looking at me curiously. If you look closely, she does look 7 or 8 points similar to me. I just stared at her for a while. Xianchen stood quietly among us. It separated my view. Senior sister. He said respectfully. This is the little junior sister that Master saved from the sect a few years ago. My name is Xuanwei. Junior sister is timid, don't scare her. After saying that, he turned his head to introduce me to Xuanwei. This is senior sister Xianheng. Ha, the female supporting role is going to be dumbfounded again. She just looked at it a few more times, and Xianchen hurriedly protected his wife. for fear that she would bully Maybao. The female probation thinks she is still the same white moonlight. In fact, no one in the sectum wants to see her at all. It's better to die thoroughly from the beginning, so as not to humiliate yourself later. I looked away lightly. Kicked Xian Chen. Just resurrected, I have no strength. You take me back. Xian Chen respectfully responded and summoned the natal spirit sword. Senior sister, let's ride my Bixiao sword back first. I'm going to tell Master and the whole sect about your resurrection. After saying that, he turned his head to look at Xuanwei. Little junior sister also comes with me. 4. Riding the Bixiao sword through 2 red lights, after the curve overtook the sword 3 times. I finally returned to my former residence. Bamboo residence courtyard. All the furnishings are the same as before I was alive. After decades, these objects are still quietly waiting for the return of their owners. I lay down comfortably on the bed and rolled twice. Decided to ignore the barrage and female supporting actors. I don't want to recover my aura for the time being. Pendulum. If you put it up, you will be ruthless, you will forget your feelings, and you will die. Decades of death have tired me. You must get a good night's sleep. Unfortunately, I only slept halfway. I was woken up by the noisy sounds outside the hospital. Master broke in a hurry. Xianheng, are you really resurrected? His eyes widened, his eyes swept from top to bottom, and from bottom to top. Staring at me in disbelief. Ah, yes. I was woken up halfway through my sleep, and I didn't have a good face, so I replied weakly. Master still couldn't believe it. Poked my face. Pulled out my hair. Twisted my arm again. Get out. I slapped him in the face impatiently. Ah, this familiar force. Master held his left face nostalgically. Good disciple, it's really you. This person is really sick sometimes. Master smiled and patted me on the shoulder. Okay, since you're resurrected, let's have a good rest first. You don't have to worry about the affairs of the sect. Xianchen has been able to stand on his own, and Xuanwei is also a rare immortal cultivation wizard. The daily affairs of the sect have been all entrusted to them. If you need anything in the future, just ask Xuanwei. Listen, the voice of the female partner breaking the defense. As soon as he was resurrected, he was overthrown, and Master had already handed over the power to manage the sect to Maybao. Where the power is, there is love. Master's love for Maybao is really good. Master cares about the female partner on the surface, but in fact he is beating her up and making her recognize her current body. I didn't speak. Just staring straight into Master's eyes. It always feels like this person is planning something. Maybe I was staring at him with a little guilty conscience. Master looked away and coughed twice bluffingly. Okay, I still have things to do as a teacher. You have a good rest, I'll come to see you in 2 days. After saying that, he fled. Tut. What a clumsy acting. They really have something to hide from me. But what? I rubbed my forehead. Judging from the situation that our entire sect can't make up half of our brains. It's just a matter of who ate more buns and who secretly hid a chicken leg. There is no need to be afraid. Forget it. Fall asleep. 5. The body that has just been resurrected is still very weak. I lay down for 3 days before I felt a little more relaxed. For 3 days, no one came to visit me. The barrage laughs. Yo yo yo, isn't this our heartthrob white moonlight? Why are you so mixed? The female partner doesn't know yet. That day Master could see at a glance that she had lost her spiritual power. As soon as he walked out, he breathed a sigh of relief and immediately told the whole sect the good news. Now everyone knows that the female partner is a useless person. If you know the interest, you should get out by yourself, instead of staying here to make people feel annoyed. I looked at the screen full of sarcasm. Frowned slightly. decided to go out and let the wind go. On the way, I met several junior brothers and sisters. When everyone saw me, their eyes lit up and they cared about how my body was recovering. After saying a few more words, he prevaricated and said that he still had something to do and had to take a step first. He also told me that Xianchen and Xuanwei were present in all affairs of the sect. I just need to recuperate in the bamboo home with peace of mind. Wrong. I always feel that they are hiding something. Alas, the female supporting role is really good and has no wink. Isn't this just disgusting? Her waist, and embarrassed to drive people away. Anyone who is not so thick-skinned knows that they have packed up their things and got out. Do you have to see everyone standing on Meibao's side with your own eyes and humiliate yourself before you are willing to leave? I really want her to know that the master and junior brother she has been thinking about are now teaching her sister swordsmanship step by step. Oh yes, the sword used by Meibao is still the Qingming sword that the female partner used at the beginning. She worked hard to nourish it with her heart and blood for 7 days and 49 days before the sword spirit agreed to sign the contract. But Meibao didn't do anything, and the Qingming sword automatically recognized her as the master. Lost all her spiritual power, was abandoned by her classmates, and even the natal sword disliked her. Why should the female supporting partner compare with her sister Baobi, who is loved by thousands of people? My face darkened. He shouted Qingming a few times in his heart. No response. I am a sword cultivator. For sword cultivators, the natal sword means everything. In the days since my resurrection, I have tried to call the Qingming sword countless times. Not a single response. I thought it was because I lost my spiritual power that I failed. But now it seems. I followed the guidance of the barrage and walked to the back mountain peach forest. In the rain of petals flying all over the sky, Xianwei held the Qingming sword. Innocently coquettish. Master, brother, I'm so tired. Don't practice swordsmanship today, okay? On weekdays, he was a good teacher who was not respected by the old men. Good disciple, after 100 years as a teacher, sooner or later our sect will be in your hands. Every bit of suffering you eat today, every drop of sweat you shed. We will see the rewards in the future. Xianchen was clumsy, but he also said seriously. Little junior sister, I will stay with you for as long as you practice. If 2 people share the burden together, it won't be so hard. The Qingming sword moved slightly. It seems to be encouraging Xuanwei too. So she pouted, nodded and said, okay, then I'll practice a little longer today. Ah, Meibao is really beautiful and hardworking, who can not fall in love with this? I said it earlier that the female partner should not humiliate herself, now be honest. Sister Bai Yueguang is still pretending to be calm, and she is probably jealous and crazy in her heart. When they noticed my appearance, the 3 of them were a little surprised. Xianwei politely called senior sister. Master Xianchen was a little guilty and didn't dare to look at me. I glanced at them coldly and looked at the sword in Xianwei's hand. Qingming, come here. There was no movement. Ha ha ha, what is Bai Yueguang's self-cultivation? It's all like this, the female supporting role is still pretending. Qingming sword doesn't want a waste owner without spiritual power. Hello. Didn't you hear that? I said that Qingming sword doesn't want a waste owner without spiritual power. Really? I raised my eyebrows. That can't be done. Qingming and I have a blood contract, life and death are linked. Unless I die, it will always be my sword. I untied the dagger from my waist expressionlessly. Aimed at the heart and stabbed it hard. At that moment, Master and Xianchen ran towards me at the same time. Xianheng. Senior sister. Even Xuanwei was knocked to the ground by them, and she didn't even notice it. 6. Of course I'm not dead. It's just a little bit of heart's blood. With blood as a contract, I summoned the Qingming sword again. Come here. This time, Qingming no longer ignored my call. It quickly returned to my hands. The heavy weight fell on the palm again. I felt relieved after a long time. Sure enough, we sword cultivators can do without anything, but we can't do without swords. A warm spiritual power poured into my body little by little from the sword body, repairing my body and even my soul. I felt like I was soaking in a hot spring spiritual bath, and my whole body was warm. When you try to breathe in again, this dilapidated body that was leaking from all sides was finally able to retain some of its spiritual power. That's nice. Master looked at me and said scornfully, Xianheng, how can you, as a senior sister, be so stingy? Xuanwei is your junior sister, borrow your sword to play with her for 2 days. Xianchen also helped. Yes, senior sister, you don't have spiritual power anyway. Just be a mere mortal. Little junior sister needs this sword more than you now. You should give her the Qingming sword. I glanced at the two of them coldly. Raise your sword mercilessly. Besides, I'll whip you both. The two immediately became honest, holding their heads and not speaking. It was Xuanwei who looked at me a little embarrassed. Senior sister, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was your sword. Ah, sister, don't apologize, you are the heroine, all the beautiful things in this world should belong to you. Damn it, Qingming is the world's #1 famous sword. If it weren't for the female supporting actress being a demon, it would be our sister treasures. I looked at her familiar face calmly and shook my head. It's okay, I won't blame you. 7. Because I snatched the Qingming sword, Master punished me to face the wall and think about it. He didn't say how long he thought about it. Just punish until your junior sister is depressed. No. You still have to grind your temperament. As a teacher, you will be punished not to leave Sigua Cliff for 50 years. 50 years? The female partner didn't die for 50 years, good guy, I really don't want to see her again. With the current half-hanging cultivation of the female partner, I'm afraid she won't live for 50 years, right? Like meow, who let her bully our sister Bao? It's only been 50 years. When I first practiced in seclusion, I started in a 16 years. That's it. Just take this opportunity to temper your roots. Recover your body better. 30 years of seclusion. My cultivation has been restored to 40%. The Qingming sword suddenly became restless. In the darkness, I opened my eyes. Pinching his fingers, he found that there was an innate secret to realm that was opening. In the secret realm, there is a natural material treasure called the fairy spirit grass. It is the top spiritual object that repairs the remains and recovers the cultivation. No wonder the Qingming sword reminded me. I split the cliff with my sword and walked out. I bumped into the master walking with Xian Wei. When he saw me, he was a little nervous. Evil disciple, why did you run out early? I went straight to the point. I want to go to the innate secret realm, and take the fairy spirit grass to repair my body. The innate secret realm is controlled by the Jingdao sect and opens once in 100 years. Each time it opens, there is a limited number of places that can be entered. Our sect is weak, and has only one place. Master frowned. I have given Xuanwei this year's place. You wait for the next 100 years. Why does the female supporting character love to grab everything with her sister? What's the use of grabbing? Meibao didn't have to do anything, someone held it for her with both hands. I really like to watch this kind of double standard for love. I pulled out the Qingming sword and pointed it at Master. Still concise. I can't help you. Master's face changed, and he gritted his teeth and said, Xianheng, what exactly do you want to do? I glanced at him faintly. What do you want to do? From my resurrection to now, all your differences. Do you really think I can't see it? Xianchen, Xuanwu, and many junior brothers and sisters walked out quietly. Silently stood behind Master. I'm sorry, senior sister. This time, we won't let you go no matter what. 8. Beat everyone to the ground. A group of rookie chickens. 9. I took the token and came to the innate secret outside the sword. The door to the secret realm has not yet been opened. Outside we're densely packed with monks from major sects. The moment Qingming landed, all eyes came one after another. There was a moment of dead silence in the venue. In the next second the crowd was booming. Qingming sword. It's the Qingming sword. How is it possible? Fairy Xianheng. I read that right, it's really Fairy Xianheng. This? Could it be that the old man is old and dazzled? Didn't Xianheng already pass away? It must be that heaven has mercy on all my living beings, so that Xianheng can be resurrected again and save the world. Fairy. Fairy. Countless people are calling my name. What's more, some people fell to their knees and burst into tears. I stood on a high place and looked around at everyone. He clenched his fists and bowed to them. Fellow Taoists, you are not mistaken. Xianheng is back. In a simple sentence, everyone present was so excited that they almost fainted. It's really Xianheng. That's great. The common people of the world are saved. We parted 40 years ago, and the heroic posture of the fairy still remains in my mind. I didn't expect that in this life, I would have the opportunity to see you again. Long heavens, don't treat me well. 40 years ago, if you hadn't sacrificed yourself for righteousness, the world will inevitably be destroyed by the hands of that devil, and we will have already died. Please wait for me to bow to the fairy. 40 years ago. I am still the senior sister of the sword sect with infinite scenery. He is also the first person in the world to know the righteous way. The Qingming sword is known as the world's first sword, and it has never been because of its sharp blade, but because its owner is the first person in the world. At that time, I was invincible all over the world. The junior brothers and sisters in the sect are trained by me every day. Even Master has to look at my face carefully. My life can be said to be extremely happy. Until the big devil Feng Li was born. He indiscriminately killed innocent people, causing suffering to the lives. Countless righteous men went to attack, but they all fell at his hands. At the time of life and death, it was I who fought for my life, sealed his cultivation, and died with him. In exchange for a peaceful era for the immortal cultivation world. 40 years later, I somehow came back to life. After the resurrection, the first thing I thought of was, since I can be resurrected, is it also possible to leave that seal? 10. It was indeed as I expected. The monks around me told me what had happened in the past 40 years. I and Feng Li will die together. The immortal cultivation realm did have a night of stability. However, in just 20 years, the seal was loosened. The demonic energy leaked out, and the demons were ready to move again. More than 10 years have passed. The big devil was unexpectedly resurrected and came to the world. It's just that Feng Li seems to be very weak after the resurrection. Did not retaliate against the Zhengdao sect from the beginning. Instead, he cultivated his obscurity and silently accumulated strength. In recent years, the actions of the demons have become more and more frequent. Each sect had to make the worst guess. Feng Li's mana seemed to be about to be completely restored. A new battle between good and evil is about to break out. However, at this time, the righteous path is leaderless. Most of the older generation of immortal cultivators died in the Great War 40 years ago. In the new generation, there are few successful ones. Everyone is pessimistic. This time, no one could stop Feng Li. Until I come again like a god. Everyone regarded me as their only hope and worshipped me. I remember when I was just resurrected. The barrage said that I was the white moonlight of the full cultivation immortal world. At that time, I was still wondering. Obviously I was still alive, and I was notoriously foolish. When those immortal cultivators mentioned me, they either shook their heads or sighed. Even Master and his younger siblings were frightened when they saw me. White moonlight. Me? But at this moment, looking at everyone's eyes full of expectation, I seem to understand somewhat. That's it. I will do what others can't do. The devil that others can't kill, I'll kill it. 11. Of course, with my current cultivation of only 40%. I want to compete with Fengli, but it is difficult to ascend to the heavens. The top priority is to get the fairy grass first and repair the spiritual roots. I will tell you the whole story. They all said that after the secret realm was opened, they would help me pay attention to the whereabouts of the fairy spirit grass as soon as possible. With a helper, everything is much simpler. The third day of the opening of the secret realm, a monk told me the traces of the fairy spirit grass through 1,000 miles of transmission. However, by the time I arrived, I was one step late. Xianchen reached out and put the last fairy spirit grass into the Qiankuan bag. In front of him was the master who confronted me with a sword. Behind him, there were a lot of disciples of the sword sect. Everyone held their natal swords and looked at me in silence. I looked around and didn't find Xian Wei in the crowd. Where is she? I asked calmly. Master frowned. Don't look for it, I've hidden her in a very hidden place. Xian Wei's qualifications are not below you. Wait until I make these fairy grasses into pills, and let her take them. She will definitely be able to achieve great skills, and she will. When the time comes. Enough, master. I sighed and said helplessly. How long do you want to be willful? This matter has nothing to do with Xuanwei. Let her go. Master looked at me in silence. The circles under the eyes turned red little by little. After a long time, he gritted his teeth and spoke. You can't do it for a teacher. I can't watch my beloved disciple go to death again. And I can't do anything but look at your back. Xianheng, can you please this time? The burden of the common people in heaven is too heavy, and you shouldn't bear it alone. Let me be a teacher, and you junior brothers and sisters help you once. He just finished speaking. The entire sword sect's disciples knelt down in unison. Senior sister, this time, let us help you. Even the Qingming sword in my hand let out a mournful cry. I closed my eyes. Sighed. That's why you want to make a puppet that is 8 points similar to my god form. I recognized Xuanwei from the first sight I saw it. She is simply alive and like me when I was younger. His eyebrows, eyes, mouth, and nose all resembled each other. When I wanted to look at her carefully, Xianchen stood between us with a guilty face, blocking my view. But from then on, I became suspicious. Naturally, I won't listen to the nonsense of the barrage, and I believe in the nonsense of white moonlight, stand-in, and love. Even if Master made her the next heir, handed over my Qingming sword to her, and even imprisoned me in Sigua Cliff, I never believed the rumors of the barrage. Nothing else. That was the master who raised me single-handedly. They are brothers and sisters who are like me. I trust them. Whenever. I'm just curious. What the hell are these fools doing? It turns out that we sword cultivators are a group of big fools who are not suitable for using their brains. Puppet dolls. Is this an idea that humans can come up with? Master looked up at the sky. 40 years ago, you and the demon died together, and then exploded the gold coins all over the place. Ah, it's your spiritual power that overflows everywhere, and is attached to the object. At first, as a teacher, I just wanted to ease my longing. Then I made a puppet out of the materials with your aura. But gradually, this doll actually opened its spiritual consciousness and really came to life. A smile appeared on Master's face. Although her personality is not at all like yours. But just looking at that face made the whole school feel deeply comforted. So we gave her a name and asked her to stay as a little junior sister. Originally, I wanted her to be a senior sister. But Xianchen said, just because you are a senior sister, you have to take on the responsibility of educating the entire division since you were a child. This leads to your sense of responsibility being too heavy, and choosing to sacrifice yourself to save the common people. So this time, we want you not to be a senior sister. Just be an innocent and simple little junior sister who is silly every day. There was a bit of nostalgia in his eyes. But I didn't expect the good times to last long. The demon has actually come back to life. At first, we were a little happy while worrying, thinking that since he can be resurrected, it makes no sense for you to do it. But soon I couldn't laugh. Because Xianchen said, with your character, even if he is resurrected, he will only choose to die with the devil again. And this time, we still can't do anything. I can only watch you go to death again. I sighed. That's why you put the idea on Xuanwei. B. She has the remnants of your spiritual energy on her, and I have persuaded the Qingming sword spirit to help, as well as the fairy spirit grass. All things add up, she may not be weaker than you. It is most appropriate for her to seal the devil and die with the devil. Master's voice was already full of pleading. Xianheng, good disciple. Just this time, listen to Master obediently. Let Master help you, okay? I looked at his worried face. Shook his head slowly. I'm sorry, Master. If Xuanwei is really just a puppet through and through, then of course I am happy to hide behind her. But she has spiritual consciousness, and she is a living person. In order to survive, let others die for me. I can't do this kind of thing. What's more? I smiled slyly. Who said I must die with the devil? I have already thought about how to deal with the demon Venerable Fengli. 12. Master still can't resist me after all. He personally refined the fairy grass into an elixir, and watched me take it. Also sent a lot of natural materials and earth treasures. After some conditioning, my mana was restored to about 70%. That's it. The strong men of the immortal cultivation world have inductions between each other. Not to mention people like me and Fengli who have lived and died together. Almost the moment I swallowed the pill, Fengli, thousands of miles away, sensed my existence. And his reaction was also decisive. Pick up the sword and rush to kill me. And at the same time, like a chicken, I lifted Xianwei, who had been knocked unconscious beforehand, to the edge of the cliff. Hello. Can you see it? I'm going to throw your beloved heroine off the cliff. Those who are interested in it will exchange information with me. Tell me how much of his skills have now recovered, where his weaknesses are, and if he has set any traps in advance. In short, as long as there is information that allows me to defeat him, tell me everything. WOC. Will the female supporting figure be able to see the barrage, right? Is she talking to us now? Then she also saw everything we discussed before. Gone, the female supporting role is too despicable. Forget it. In fact, if you think about it carefully, the female supporting role has not harmed Maybao until now, and even took the initiative to stand up against the villain. We have always been too harsh. Yes, I wanted to say it for a long time, but I didn't expect the female partner to die to save the common people before. No wonder it was everyone's white moonlight. Okay, the female supporting figure, you heard it clearly. The villain's skills have recovered to 90%, which is about the same as in his heyday. But he has a fatal flaw. The corners of my lips curled up slightly, and I nodded in greeting. Thank you. 13. However, with half a stick of incense, Fengli took his sword and killed him. After decades of not seeing him, he looks the same as before. It's just that the temperament is more ruthless and tyrannical, bloodthirsty and terrifying. A long-lost fighting spirit surged. I held the blue sky in my hand and fought with him in a ball. Is the Vok female supporting role so strong? He was actually able to confront the villain in the full text and not fall behind. Is this the strength of the former first person of the righteous path? Master, junior brothers and sisters saw that their eyes were about to fall out, and they couldn't find a vacancy, so they could go up and help the female match. No way, in the duel between top masters, they not only can't help the female supporting actor, but may even put themselves in. I can only just watch from the sidelines. I saw that master's eyes were red in a hurry. Alas, the female supporting role is not completely restored enough, and she is still inferior to the villain in the end. I feel that the more she fights, the more exhausted she becomes, but the villain's momentum has been beaten. If this continues, it will only be a matter of time before you are killed by the villain. I gradually fell behind. Seeing that I was about to lose, I simply sold a flaw, turned my head and ran away. Ha, want to escape? Fomley sneered and blocked my way with his sword. It's now. I shouted behind him. Master, junior brother, attack him 3 inches below the right side of his back now. Fomley was startled and immediately turned his head and stabbed behind him. Stabbed in the air. I whistled and laughed. Your Highness the dignified demon venerable, why are you so honest? You believe whatever I say. At the same time, the sword in his hand was unsheathed and stabbed straight at the bottom 2 fingers of his left rib. That's what the barrage told me, where the real door of Fomley is. Pfft. Fomley spat blood and looked at me angrily. But I was prepared and accepted it when I saw it. After piercing his life door with a sword, he slipped out directly for tens of meters. Fellow Taoists, I am Xianheng. I started shaking people against the void. The devil has been pierced by me with a sword, and his life is not long. Now I invite all Taoist friends from all over the world to come and help me. Kill the devil and support the right path. There is a saying that centipedes do not die when they die. Although Fomley was stabbed by me, he was also a dignified generation of demon venerables in the end. If you really start to be ruthless, you can still fight to the death before leaving and pull me to be buried. However, I have come back from the dead, which will be the most precious life. Can shake people to fight one more, and even drag Fomley to death, so why should I fight him desperately? More and more Taoist friends were shaken by my 1,000-mile transmission, surrounding the demon head. Fomley looked at me unwillingly, his eyes full of resentment. But he couldn't even get 1 step closer to me. Another sword fell. The evil devil finally ended his life. Master pulled out the blood-stained sword, and wiped it casually on the corner of his clothes. Smiled and walked towards me. Let's go, Xianheng, let's go home. I looked at the blood-stained master and the junior brothers and sisters who were walking towards me. Smiled and nodded. Well, let's go home.